welcome back to GayFatFriend and Friends, the podcast. The podcast for best friends! Yay! Woo! The best friends a guy ever could have, or whatever that song is. I am your host, GayFatFriend, a.k.a. Todd. And joining me, as always, is my teeny tiny, adorable little husband, Rob.
Hello.
And for the first time in GayFatFriend history, we have a guest. We finally have a third.
Real friend.
Please welcome to the pod my best friend of over 20 years, Kendra! Beep, 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 beep. Oh, wait, do we have applause?
We do.
I forget how to do it. Is it this?
B?
No, it's, I think, C. Yeah, and then we'll just do a rim shot, just in case. Okay. Yay, welcome, Daddy.
Thank you, Daddy.
So I think right off the bat, we should explain.
Well, you need to address that.
We should explain. Kendra and I call each other Daddy.
Me too.
It is from an Amy Poehler impression of when she did Sharon Osbourne on SNL, and she talked to her little dog, Daddy. Oh, Daddy. And we just picked it up and started calling each other that.
Well, Daddy needed help opening his pretzels.
Yeah,
Daddy.
Daddy. Hello, Daddy. And it just stuck. And now we both have the word Daddy tattooed on our bodies for each other.
Well, and there was also like the reasoning of just you hated hearing your own name being told to you, right?
Well, that is a big pet peeve
I
of mine.
I also hate that.
In relationships, in friendships,
Yep.
in family, please don't ever say just my name. That's weird. It's got to be a
I'm in
nickname.
trouble.
Yeah, it's got to be like Rob. Whenever you say Todd, first of all, you never say Todd. It's always just Babe.
Well, it's like I throw a
You say
Todd in there every
Todd.
now and then because I'm trying to get you used to it.
Well, and also you say Todd to people. Like you'll talk to your mom about Todd.
Yeah.
But if you're talking to me or if I'm part of a conversation and you just say my name, I get so creeped out.
Yeah,
I don't like
it's
it.
ooky.
But also, though, I'm usually pretty direct. If I'm mad, it's more of like, Todd, you jerk.
Which
like, it's a
has
sentence.
never happened.
No.
It's never happened.
You son of a bitch.
And yeah, it kind of that thing too. We call each other Babe constantly, and Kendra is my other Babe, but I'm not going to call her Babe, so we had to come up with something, and it was Daddy.
Daddy.
And it's just fun.
It is.
Call your friends Daddy. There's no such thing as gender.
Get into it.
But Kendra is in town visiting us in Seattle from Missouri.
Yes.
And she still lives in our I guess our college town.
Yeah.
You went to the same university.
Yes. I finished my undergrad there, yes.
Yeah. And but she and her partner live in Missouri.
Unfortunately.
It happens.
It does.
And
it
you got
to the best of us.
You got here just in time for some like signature Seattle weather.
Oh my God.
It
I
was-
looked at my phone. It was 60 and raining when I landed, and this is amazing.
Yeah, because it's
All
still
I
kind of
want.
90 in Missouri, isn't it?
Oh yeah, it was real hot when I left.
Yeah.
It's going to be real hot when I get back. So
And when you arrived in Seattle at the cursed SeaTac airport, which we will talk about in a second, but it is so funny that it was like 59 degrees and pouring rain, and I was like, it all of a sudden became October. We just skipped the end of August and September, and it's just October, and it was delightful.
Yeah.
I
It
didn't
was very
pack
nice.
very smart though. I will say that. I have a
I-
lot
well,
of shorts and t-shirts.
I feel bad too because like I tried to I didn't realize how cold and rainy it was going to be, so I was like, maybe bring a jacket, maybe bring jeans.
Oh man.
I was like, what about closed-toed shoes? You're like, I mean, you can.
I was like, we're going to be walking a lot, so maybe you just want to wear tennis shoes and not like because you have what Docs or not Docs, you have Birkenstocks,
like
right?
fake Birkenstocks,
Yeah.
not real ones. No,
But I
thank
was like-
dog, I brought some tennis shoes.
Because it ended up being raining cold. Although today, Sunday, when we record, beautiful. It's like
Beautiful.
high 60s, sunny, clear skies. It's just
Feels like fall.
Yeah,
just
it's a
amazing.
crispy fall feeling day though. Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah.
feel like last week's sunny summer stuff.
yeah. But Seattle's very hard this weekend.
Yeah.
Just for me.
And I'm glad you got to see it.
Yeah,
But-
rolled out its best.
Yeah,
So
absolutely.
it did start a little rough because I picked Kendra up at the airport, which I'm happy to do. SeaTac is so easy to get to. It's like less than 30 minutes. They have a giant cell phone lot, so it's easy to just pull in the cell phone lot, wait for your friend or family to land, and then go pick them up. But I am convinced now that SeaTac, the airport, is cursed because me personally have been involved in so many bad things and annoying things at that airport. The first time, Rob was supposed to pick me up at like 11 o'clock at night.
What
Yeah.
happened, Rob?
He fell asleep and forgot me.
Yeah, and my alarms just did not go off.
I had to call
something
and
went
call and
wrong.
call, and,
I just fell asleep on the couch, and I was like ready. I was like, I was dressed. I think I had shoes on. I was ready to go.
Yeah.
And then I was like, and then 3 hours later or whatever,
I'm just like calling like waiting outside baggage claim. I'm like, where are you? And he's like, I'm on the sofa. Oh,
like,
sorry, I'll be there.
Shit.
So, but
Robbie.
late at night, like practically midnight by that point, there's no traffic. So you got there right
And
away.
I think that was a work day for me. So I did have like a full day before
Yeah,
that.
it was like a Monday or
It's
Tuesday
not
or
like that was
something.
a Saturday and I was like, whoops.
And then the second time, you did remember me. You were
Yes.
so on top of it. You were proud. You were doing so good.
I literally I left like an hour and a half early so I could go to a record store even before.
Yeah.
Like I was like, I'm literally going to go do something for myself and then I'm going to go to the airport. I had my Kindle. I was like ready to
you
go.
were prepared. You were on time. You got there. He got to the cell phone lot and turned off the car, and then the car never turned back on again.
Yeah. The battery died right there. That was the time that the battery was going to go.
And the battery was like 4 years old or something, 3 years old.
Yeah.
And it was literally just the perfect death timing of the battery.
And of course, like that night was cold and rainy. But it was cold. Like that was like winter. And and of course, like I was like, oh, well, maybe in the cell phone lot, I can ask people if they have jumper cables. But like the whole point of the cell phone lot is like no one's really sitting there for a long time. And it's not really socially normal to go up to someone's window while they're sitting in their car in the cell phone lot and bother them.
That's terrifying.
Right? Probably already on edge because they're waiting for someone.
Right.
And they're like, where are they? They haven't called me yet.
Yeah. And at least as a relatively small man, that's I think I'm a little bit less scary to some people, but that I did not get jumper help.
No, anybody tapping on your window when
Yeah.
you're sitting in the
Yeah.
cell phone
Unwelcome.
would be terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so
and you're still a man.
yeah. No, that's
So-
seriously, like definitely. It's like as a small man, I have that working with me, but I'm still a bearded middle-aged man. I wouldn't want me knocking on my window. But yeah, and so like literally, like Todd had to take like
do you want to know what's impossible to get to from an airport? The cell phone lot. If you don't have
from
a
the
car,
terminal.
you cannot walk to that lot because it's just far enough away. There's no like sidewalk or path to walk to that lot. You have to get in that lot and leave that lot via car. Second is that no taxis will take you from the airport to that lot because they're like, and technically it's illegal. Like you cannot deny someone a fare, but the guy at the airport was like cussing me out because like he was yelling at the taxi cab guy because they like assign you a taxi, and he was just mad because I was like, I'm literally just going to the lot. You'll be right back. You can get another fare right away. This will be an easy $10. I'll even tip you $10. I got to get to my family. It's 11 o'clock at night. He's freaking out because he doesn't know what to do. I got to get there and take care of him.
and I was waiting for AAA at this time. Still.
And AAA was on their way, but they were like 30, 45 minutes away. And again, it was just like mass chaos. I finally like ended up taking an Uber or a Lyft because none of the cabs would take me. And I was like, you guys, I will give you extra money if you just take me. And they all wanted like a long fare to downtown Seattle or something. So I literally told the guy, fuck you, you're a fucking piece of shit. And I just took his picture like I was going to blow him up or something, but I wanted him to be scared,
That's some Karen shit.
Yeah.
And then walked around and took a picture of his license plate, and then I went over and got my Uber. But then I finally got to Rob, and then we got a new battery because like they sent the AAA battery truck.
Yeah,
so we got a fresh battery.
First thing though, we get a call from the tow truck driver. He's like, "Where are you? I've driven through the parking structure and I can't find you."
Oh, yeah.
And I was like, "We are in the cell phone lot. Please don't go. Please don't go. Please
Yeah.
don't go." And he was amazing. He was super nice.
He was very sweet.
Yeah, tested the old battery, swapped out the new one, ran the credit card, drove away like the hero that he was.
Yeah, we did not mind. Like it's probably $50 more than getting a battery at AutoZone, but we did not mind that convenience tax.
Honestly, I have not bought a car battery not from a mobile van that has come to
From
my
a
car.
AAA battery truck? Same.
Like I can't think of the last time I bought a battery the other way, and there's no other way to do it. It's so nice.
It's just I don't mind paying a convenience tax for just getting something in and out and done.
Oh yeah.
So then Rob picked me up. But then, so when Kendra landed, Daddy arrived via Southwest. She landed on time and then did the classic thing, which is my biggest pet peeve. The pilots are always like, ladies and gentlemen, we got you in 20 minutes early, but we don't have a gate, so we're going to sit on the tarmac for 20 minutes. And it's like, well, then what was the point of getting us here early?
Yeah, we're not
It's
early
such
anymore.
bullshit.
And
But-
we're annoyed because we had to sit here.
We were 10 minutes early and we sat for 20 minutes. So now we were 10 minutes late.
Net loss.
Yeah.
It was ridiculous.
because there was just another plane at your gate that you had to wait
Yep,
to
it
leave.
was in the way.
Which is such bullshit. I'm like, there's got to be better logistics. You got to be able to figure this shit out. So then she, gets to the gate. I forget. Were you at the terminal where you had to take the train?
No. I
Okay,
haven't had
so
to
luckily
yet.
she was at like a Seagate or something. So, because Seattle has one terminal or two terminals that are like connected via tram train, and like it's very fast, but it's very crowded. Sometimes you have to wait for another one because everyone crams in there and they're always full.
Yeah, they're like every 3 minutes, but still.
So sometimes you can walk off the plane and it still takes upwards of 30 to 45 minutes just to get to the curb to get into a
But I have to
car.
do that on the way back.
So, anyway,
Well,
so
then.
she had checked a bag. And so she went down to baggage claim. She's like, I'm at baggage claim waiting for my bag. The fucking baggage carousel broke. When does that ever happen?
It stopped.
It stopped because of like a jam and broke. I've never seen that happen before. People's luggage is just piling up on the ramp and down at the bottom and nothing's moving. And she was like, they're literally over the intercom right now saying that like some kind of technician porter is coming to like fix the
And
jam.
then he didn't come and didn't come and didn't come. And there were some white men with their hands on their hips, just kind of trying to figure out pushing buttons that they absolutely should not have been pushing.
Roger.
And
Yeah.
yes, there were a lot of wives pulling their husbands back. But then when he finally came, it was kind of amazing because he got like applause.
Yeah.
When people saw him, like we clapped him in and he fixed it and we clapped him out and cheered. But yeah, it was real dumb in there.
Yeah. And then I think I sat in the cell phone lot for like an hour and like 15 minutes or something, which I didn't mind. I listened to my podcasts and hung out, and it was raining and it was nice because it wasn't raining forever.
And the
still.
battery made it.
Yeah, and the battery survived.
Yeah.
Well,
And
at some
so-
point you were like, is everything okay?
Yeah, I was like, well, because the last text I got from you was, I just went pee and I'm heading to the baggage claim, and so I was like, wait a minute, what? After like 15 minutes, I was like, was that her saying she'll be outside in a second? Like, should I have interpreted that
shit.
as like, you're ready? So after another 15 minutes, I was like, is everything okay? And I was like, what do I say? I don't want to sound like a dick, but I was like, is everything okay? And then that's when you told me it was all
It
jammed
in fact
up.
was not.
It was not.
It was not okay. And
Son
there
of a
were
bitch.
a bunch of boomers that were going on a cruise who were
Yeah.
all there together, and there was just a lot of like jokey old white people stuff, and it was like, ugh.
Yeah,
Waiting
Seattle
was horrible.
SeaTac especially is shitty during cruise season because
Yeah.
all of the Alaska cruises come out of Seattle, actually like really close to our neighborhood, and it's like when people go on a cruise, they just turn their mind off before they even get there, and they're just already in cruise mode, and so
they're all
just
inclusive long before they
they're
get to
just
that
not
boat.
paying
Very much
attention.
so.
They're on vacation as soon as they get on the plane. So like when they're in an airport, they're just like, where do I go? What do I do? Who cares? I'm on vacation.
They're
Meanwhile, people are trying to live their lives.
They're living in Margaritaville before they get to the destination.
There's just no
Exactly.
self-awareness. They're not aware that anyone else is around them.
yeah.
Oh, to be retired.
Can't
But
wait.
we finally got her here, and
The
that
first
was on,
friend of GayFatFriend and Friends.
Yeah, the first friend on the pod, first guest.
Exciting.
And yeah, I'm trying to think what we did Friday night at all. Oh yeah, we went to Capitol Hill and had sushi.
Oh,
delicious,
so
delicious
good.
sushi. It was so good.
The crispy rice thing that Rob got. Oh my god!
I can find a crispy rice based appetizer. Like
I feel like
radar for 'em.
I feel like we have like 5 different places where we know exactly where to get that. It
Yeah.
was so
It was
yummy.
delicious.
I had some hot sake. You guys did not really imbibe.
I
Well,
tried.
they had beer on tap though, which was delicious.
Yeah, you had beer and wine, but you did not like the sake.
I was not a big fan, but I
I
had
love
my,
it.
my cab.
I get that it's an acquired taste
Yeah,
and
I've-
experience.
I've
and
never
it's-
developed a taste for it.
Hot alcohol is weird. I mean, I didn't like Irish coffee the first time I had it because I was like, hot whiskey is weird and it makes my nose feel funny.
Yeah. It's just so much
nose.
coffee though. I think
Yeah.
I'm down, but like also it's weird. It's like sake. Yeah, I guess I'm used to colder sake, but also like sake bomb, just because like the beer kind of helps cut the flavor a bit.
Yeah. But yeah, we finished up and we had a great Friday night. And then yesterday we,
Hit up Easy Street.
Started the day at Mecca.
Kendra, if you're watching on YouTube right now, you can see she's wearing a Pearl Jam Pride shirt, which is your number one, right?
Yes. Oh yeah. Since I was 12 years old.
Yeah,
Jam's
Pearl Jam and
absolutely my
Eddie
favorite
Vedder.
band.
Well, and it's funny that we got into the story of the daddy thing because, like, literally, I bought the St. Vincent record "Daddy's Home" yesterday,
There
which
you
just
go.
feels especially appropriate.
But yeah, I would say Easy Street is the Pearl Jam mecca, probably.
It's one of those places for sure.
Yeah.
Eddie Vedder is my one true love,
Yep.
and I will put that on the record, regardless of the fact that I have a partner. Sorry, babe, love you too, but one true love. No, it's just such a cool place. They have so many great records, and
It is very much made for the Pearl Jam
yes,
fan.
for the Seattle fan.
Yeah.
It felt like my Disneyland or something. Like, all of this is for me. These are all things I like.
Well, and it's that
pretty great.
thing where you're like in it and you're like, I want all the souvenirs and I want the shot glass and the ashtray and the t-shirt and the sunglasses.
I pretty much did that.
Yeah. And you know what? Do it. That's why we're dinks.
Right?
Oh yeah.
We didn't have kids. We have stuff and it's
We have
great.
Stuff and dogs.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And they had little like baby onesies and I was like, can we get one of these for your tiny little baby Bowie? I was like, can we get a Pearl Jam onesie on Bowie?
I feel like he's probably had something like that over the years.
Yeah, at some point.
He's a little guy.
But yeah, we had breakfast because it is a record store with a cafe inside it. And they have delicious breakfast. So we had breakfast and tons of records at Easy Street. It was
Yeah.
really fun.
So much fun.
Waiting for a table is both the best and worst thing that has ever happened to me at Easy
The
Street.
restaurant is a side thought to the record store. So like they definitely need like a manager and maybe someone to like help them, turn over tables, bus tables faster, get people sat, a better coordinating schedule.
Well, I meant that it's just dangerous and that if you give me 10 minutes, I will fill my hands. And if you
yeah.
give me 20 minutes, I will fill my hands even more.
Well, that's how they
Yes.
get
If you
you.
give me 30 minutes,
That's how they get you.
I need a basket.
Yeah.
Like-
I got to wait for a table for 30 minutes. I'll spend that 30 minutes buying records.
Get me
Darn
a
it.
crate.
Yeah.
Like, we're doing this. And so, yeah, like that's the problem with me at a record store. If you give me time,
It's going to be
I'll
a
fill it.
problem. And if you'd had any booze, like you specifically didn't have a drink.
Oh, and
because
seriously,
it
and
would have been real bad.
And like they have a bar. Like,
Yeah, they have a full bar.
yeah,
bar.
if I were drinking there, it would be just I have to buy a shelf to take with me. Just like just give me that fixture. We're going.
I got the new Jack White record, which I'd been looking for.
Which is like an indie record store exclusive. Like you can only buy it in person at stores, right? You can't even
very
order
excited.
it.
That's what I understood because I tried to do it on Amazon and it was like not till September, lady.
Well,
Yeah.
and even I think Easy Street even did an Instagram post about like limited quantities.
even
for
put it on
people.
hold.
Yeah, I want to say it had to be in person. They weren't doing it through their
show up.
website at all. So
That's cool. They need to do that more with stuff and with concert tickets.
well, I've been loving like 'cause also Easy Street does on Thursday night they did a listening party for Sabrina Carpenter.
Oh, fun.
And they stayed open late. So like at midnight you could take your copy home. Even better, when the Justice record came out, they did a midnight listening party and they sold the record at 9 p.m. Eastern. Midnight time. So that was great because I got to come home at a reasonable hour with that record.
Oh yeah, I forgot you went to that.
Oh yeah, no, that one I went to.
Was I out of town during that?
No, you were here.
All right. But yeah, I feel like a thing, if you've ever like had someone in town visiting you, or like if you've ever been the person visiting when you're in vacation mode, it's very easy to join them in vacation mode. So, Kendra's here buying records, doing some damage, having fun because she's on vacation. And it's like, well, we live here, but we're with her and she's on vacation. So we
right.
can also do some damage,
Right.
And just really clean up on stuff.
Yeah,
Because we're all on vacation.
Absolutely.
I did Seattle record tourism technically because I realized there was a massive gap in the collection, and so
Almost kind of embarrassing.
well, yeah, it's a Seattle staple that we
Yeah.
finally
Don't
got
tell
into
me
the
why.
collection. Yeah, it's just for the
I'm
best.
embarrassed for you.
I think we have to tell people
But it's
now.
been fixed.
People are in their cars screaming, what was it? Rob did not own any Nirvana.
It's true.
None.
Not a
Zero.
single- not a
even
single.
unplugged.
But like, here's the reason. It is because, at least, especially here in Seattle, you kind of can't go anywhere without hearing Nirvana. They're a band that they're hard to miss.
Yeah.
and so
there's also like murals and
exactly.
graffiti.
and so it's just a thing of even like and living in Southern California with K-Rock, you hear Nirvana once an hour. You just do. And so it's one of those bands of like I've never really had to go far to hear them, but especially being up here just feels appropriate. And honestly, I'm kind of excited. I got like the 2013 mix of In Utero, so I get to hear like the new mix. So yeah, it was overdue.
Yeah. Yeah. You
I'm
call
proud
yourself.
of you. I forgive you.
Well, and I filled out like the grunge thing now because I have like a bunch of Pearl Jam, Alice in Chains, Soundgarden, Nirvana.
You
Whoa.
call yourself a music fan. How dare
no
you, sir?
Nirvana. I was shocked.
Yeah,
I
was
clutched
too.
my pearls.
The reason we discovered it is because we have a record wall in our guest room where they're little lucite shelves that you can put like a full LP on. And I was like, let's switch out. I usually have stand-up comedy records up there of like Joan Rivers and Gallagher and stuff.
And we swap it to like Halloween.
Yeah,
and
we do all the
Christmas.
we do all the holidays. We do Pride, like we usually do all because I think we have there's 10 shells. I think we can do 10 gagas, right? Or we
Yeah,
do like
we can do 10 gagas, or we have 10 assorted gay interest.
yeah, we can do like all Madonna. But I was like, oh my God, we should switch out and do like all Pearl Jam and all Nirvana, like Seattle bands for Kendra. And Rob was like, we can't do that.
Yeah,
and
I was like, I do
why
not have enough of any of those
He's like,
bands.
I don't have enough. I don't have any Nirvana. I was like, that's blowing my
And then
mind.
I told them to turn the plane around.
yeah,
I said,
you
"Not
think
coming."
you know somebody.
Hey, but it's okay. We're good now. We're good now.
Yeah.
We fixed it.
Well, honestly, enough about you, Rob.
Sorry.
Kendra, you are our first guest, and I feel like we should talk about you more.
It's true.
Do you remember how we met?
I remember, I'm pretty sure it was at the Bel Air, which was a bar like that had an outdoor deck.
It was mostly an outdoor
It
deck.
was mostly an outdoor deck. You worked,
I worked there. I don't think I worked there at the time, though.
No, I don't think you were working there at the time. I'm pretty sure there's a photo of us where you're wearing a red bandana, like tied around your like.
I did love a bandana do-rag. Yes.
And I think there's a photo of us that night.
I think that was that the night we met.
I think so.
But anyway, unbeknownst to me, weren't we set up?
Yeah. Well, unbeknownst to both of us, except for that, then I was like, oh, I like him.
Yeah.
So definitely started out with a crush on this one. That's
It's
not
easy.
embarrassing
Well,
at
and
all.
No,
I don't
it's easy.
know.
I get it.
I don't know, and I've said it before. I'm very dumb when it comes to flirting and like all that kind of stuff. So I've always been just very aloof of like, oh wait, that was happening. Like I never pick up on things.
What's hilarious is the person that set us up is my now partner's ex-girlfriend.
Yeah.
So my partner Andy was dating a girl. I don't know that
Tangled
I need to name
web.
her. I don't know that I need to name her.
Oh, I just remembered her name. I was
Okay.
like, what even
I
was
don't
her
know.
name?
Let's
Let's just
I have no
call
idea.
her Schmessica.
Jessica. We'll call her Schmeff. And she, I think that was like, she liked both of us and Andy and I were friends. And so it was like, let's all hang out. Is that how it was? That's what I
it was
remember.
very, it was
We're
very
so
much
old.
like serial killer movie with the red string between pictures. Like she was this and you were that
That's
and
a
you were there,
tangled web.
and now he and I are together and now you're down here. But yeah, so I remember the second time we hung out. So that was the first time we hung out. The second time we hung out, people still talked on the phone. And so she, the setter-upper, had called me and she was like, do you want to come over and hang out? And I was like, sure. I don't even know what day of the week it was, but it was just like an evening. And I was like, yeah, I'll come hang. I'm not doing anything. And then she was like, and Kendra's here. And I was like, okay.
great.
That'll cool.
Yeah.
And then, I think after that, or maybe the third time I realized, I was like, oh shit, I think they're like setting us up.
And you weren't completely
I think I
out.
was like going by the Buy Now Gay Later program.
Yes, I think you were bi. Like that's the first thing I found out was that you were bi. And then it's all kind of a blur.
But I have no idea when we said, let's just be friends. It's not going to happen. I don't have any recollection of
Let's
any
call
of that.
off this farce.
Oh, I have a really embarrassing thing that I remember that I did. Do you
What?
remember an email?
No.
So, internet was spotty. It was like probably 2001. And
It was 2001.
I sent you I typed up an email. I still like remember where I was sitting in my apartment at the time and wrote it. And it kept telling me it didn't send. And so I think you got it like 8 times.
Oh no.
Yeah. You don't remember that?
No.
Oh my God.
That's funny.
So yeah, I definitely was like, so I would like to like see about maybe us doing something more than friends. I don't know what I said.
Yeah.
But something really cringy. And not only was it, unwelcome and not what you were interested in, it got there like 8 times.
It was persistent.
Spammed.
And
It was
I
persistent.
think when you got it, you were like, all right, drunkie. And I was like, yes, I was drunk. I was not drunk.
I
Thank you
must
for
have-
that out.
Yes,
Thank you.
I was like, I was not drunk. I'm
I
just
think
an
I
idiot.
mutually blocked that out for both of us because I don't
And
remember that at all.
appreciate that. Thank you, Daddy.
But that is hilarious.
Yeah, so-
but it was never. I don't think it was ever weird. Like it was just like once.
No.
I think once we had decided like there was never going to be anything romantic, we were like easy friends.
Yes, and
Like,
it all happened pretty quickly. Like there wasn't
Yeah,
very
yeah.
much time that
It's not like
things
a
weren't
year
clear.
later you're like I love you.
No.
Yeah.
And it was not like this unrequited pining thing. It was like, oh, he's really cute. And I remember you had your parents' whatever big SUV at the time.
I was driving my mom's
the
Tahoe.
and I was like, oh, and he drives a Tahoe, and he's so cute.
So Midwestern.
But yeah, and then it was all good stuff after that. It was just
we
weird for a hot
we did
second.
break up for a second.
We call it nom.
We call it nom, and we don't really talk about it a lot. I don't even remember like what started. I just remember having a fight.
Yep, we had a fight.
I don't think I knew about nom.
Oh, you didn't know
yeah.
about
No, I
nom?
don't
It was
think
when
so.
I was doing summer stock in Indiana, so we weren't even in town together. I was like out of town. We got in some kind of fight over the phone or something. I don't even remember.
I feel like something happened on the porch at the House of Love, in the back porch.
Yeah.
I think there was some conversation.
The house I lived in college, we called the House of
House
Love
of
because
Love.
it was like the theater house. Like somebody would move out and then another person would move in, and people would graduate and it would get taken over. So like it was in the theater department family for a few generations.
That's where we had a lot of the forbidden fruits.
Yeah, we had
those were super fun.
We did like an open mic night party called Forbidden Fruit once a month in college for the theater nerds.
That always inevitably ended in somebody getting out an acoustic guitar and playing a Hootie and the Blowfish song.
No. Oh, this is before Anyway, Here's Wonderwall.
Yeah, no,
Yeah.
They didn't do that. But it was.
Well, I guess
it was still that.
It was the theater kids.
Yeah.
If it was
Yeah.
just the Bros, it would have been Anyway, Here's Wonderwall.
Yeah.
But yeah, we broke up for like a year, maybe.
I want to say it was like 2003-ish.
Yeah.
And you moved.
I moved I graduated college, moved to New York City, and I was living in New York City, and we
New
made
York City?
New York City.
I stopped myself from doing that
never.
because that was so
Yeah,
millennial.
no. If a quote pops up, you quote it. But yeah, we didn't even have Friendster yet, y'all. There was no social media. There was nothing.
You had a blog.
I like wrote on a blog on
And I remember reading your blog.
but we made up via texting or via email or something.
You messaged me and told me that so I have a signature scent.
Oh, yeah, I smelled
told
you on
me-
the subway.
He told me he smelled me on the subway. And he's like, I miss you. And I'm like, I miss you too.
Yeah.
And
Her signature scent is Heaven by The Gap, which you can get at the outlet mall, right?
Now you can. It
Yeah.
was gone for a while.
It was
I having
discontinued
to,
for a while.
scrounge for it on eBay.
Yeah.
I also have other smells that I like. I like Missing Person and a few
Well,
other things.
I'd rather
but-
say that Kendra smells like heaven than Kendra smells like a missing person.
I just look like a missing person.
Yeah. Oh, that's funny. I have Missing Person because it went viral on TikTok, and I was like, I gotta smell this. Why is
It
everyone
smells
talking about
so
it?
Beyonce
good.
lyric
So good.
that she wants to go missing.
Yeah. What is the lyric?
I have no clue what that lyric is. It sounds like she says, I want to go missing.
There's a lyric on Renaissance.
Yes.
Where
I think she does say that.
yeah,
I mean,
she's
I
I want to
she
go
like,
higher.
I want to talk to
Can
God.
I get on top of you?
Yeah,
Yeah.
but is she saying, I want to go missing?
I think so.
Oh yeah, we're getting turned up tonight.
Maybe she wants to disappear, like
Yeah.
on her own choice, not like it's,
Maybe it's just like missing in the ether, not like actually missing via the FBI.
yeah, like she wants to go off the grid, not like pulled into a van.
She knows how badly that would go as a woman of color.
Right?
Yeah.
It just feels like going missing. Yeah. Anyway, sorry.
But she would get found right away.
Oh,
yeah.
Beyonce
with
would,
a
for
voice
sure.
like that.
I mean, honestly, I think the National Guard would come in and
I think if
find
she
her.
got pulled into a van, she would probably belt out as it happened. People were like, "Was that Beyonce?"
right.
Like a crowd would come.
What does she say on Cowboy Carter? She's not that kind of singer. What does she say? I ain't no regular singer. Yeah, that's the lyric.
I know regular singer.
Yeah,
With a hard G?
have to pronounce it. Yeah, like when she does surfboard.
Surfboard.
But
her so
anyway,
much.
so yeah, I was in an off-Broadway show called the Donkey Show and the Karaoke Show, which were like Shakespeare shows set in a karaoke club and a just like a 70s disco club. But I was doing off-Broadway shows, and I was like, do you want to come to New York and visit? And she was like, sure. And then
That was my graduation present. I graduated
Oh,
with my
yeah.
undergrad in 2004, and my parents paid for me to go to New York because I'd never been.
Fun.
And that's when you lived in Brooklyn. And
Yep.
yeah, I came out and saw you, and it was so much fun.
and then yeah, we officially made up from there, and it's been
No,
21
yeah,
years.
Nothing since.
And so, is it getting to go to New York, being over 21, is such a different experience
Yeah.
than any other time. Like just like being freshly 21
Yes.
ish.
Mm-hmm.
Well,
Like
we had
that's a special time to go.
more than drinking, we had a couple of interesting culinary experiences. Todd took me to Hooters in New
I
York.
did?
You
Classy.
took me to Hooters.
you
the
guys,
only
I
time
love
I've
Hooters
ever
wings.
been to Hooters, and that was why.
Hooters is so fucking good.
It was good. It was uncomfortable, but it was good.
Yeah.
And then I was saying when we were at the sushi place the other night, Todd taught me about sushi. That was the first place I'd ever had sushi.
and
He
it's because
taught me
I had
all
just learned
the
about it too,
customs.
and I love a meal where there's like steps and things to do. And yeah, I took her to sushi for the first time. That was so fun because also living in small town Missouri, where we went to college and stuff, like you guys didn't even get sushi until like 2005.
I feel like shortly after that, some places started to pop up.
Yeah. And now there's like a handful of sushi places.
Yeah, there's a bunch more.
There was a big sort of,
Most
I think,
of it's fried, but
still, there was a big sort of, I think, just opening of accepting of sushi. Like,
I think so.
In the early aughts,
all the hibachi places started having that, and
Yeah.
The California roll, it's really the handshake that just opens it up for everybody.
Well, it's a gateway
it was an
food.
ambassador.
Yeah, it is.
The California roll is a gateway sushi.
It is.
Lots of cream cheese, lots of fried sushi.
And then
It's a golden gateway sushi.
Hi-yo.
All right.
Because the Golden Gate Bridge.
Wait, applause. Damn it. What's the rim shot?
The fourth one. Just this technically
effective.
savvy
This
podcast.
is the best podcast.
This
I've
is why
ever
you
been
tune into
on.
the show, you guys. Just fun, misdirected sound effects.
It's the only
and
podcast I've
really
ever been on.
late puns.
And crowd-funded punch or
You're like, wait,
punchlines
let's
here.
go back. I need to
it
say
takes
a pun.
Can we do an edit here? But yeah, no.
But yeah, I lived in New York for almost 3 years and then went back to Missouri because I didn't know what I wanted to do, but I knew I was done with New York. And that was a fun time. I was there for like 6 months and I went down to see you constantly. I would say every other weekend I was at your apartment.
Yeah. Yep. You were back quite a bit. That was super fun.
And that was fun.
A good time.
That was the night. So one of our very dear friends, I mean, she's family to Kendra, Lauren. They're practically sisters, but one of our greatest friends who is just so funny and goofy and one of my favorite people on the planet. One of my favorite memories is when I was between New York and LA and I was down at your house.
Is this Martin Luther King Day?
No. This is after Halloween. They had a jack-o'-lantern.
No, it was Martin Luther King Day.
Oh, so the jack-o'-lantern made it to January?
That's how old the jack-o'-lantern was.
Okay.
I knew that's the story you were going to tell.
They had a jack-o'-lantern in the driveway next to where we parked the cars, and it had frozen and then I guess thawed. I don't know. Anyway, we were going to see a movie and I was driving, and so it was night and Lauren went to run around the front of the car. So like she's in the headlights, like she's running through the headlights, and then all of a sudden she disappears. And I was like, what the hell? And then she gets up in her goofy way and she's like, I fell. And then
I slipped on the pumpkin.
she stepped in the frozen 6-month-old pumpkin and slid and she ripped her jeans and scraped her knee. But we're like dying laughing. Like we were like scream laughing and she's like, I'm really hurt. We were like, I know, we're so sorry.
I think we were going to Port Cape. I know you said movies, but I think we went down to Port Cape and because it was like everybody had the Monday off.
Oh, okay.
I think it was like a Sunday night. I could be making this up, but that's what
I mean,
that's what
after
I
20 years, it
remember.
all blends together.
And there's some great pictures of you and Andy together at at Port Cape.
Yeah, Kendra has a really fun partner story with her partner. Like they were like co-workers in college, then friends for a long time, and now they're lovers.
They're lovers.
And it's very storybook because they all worked at Blockbuster.
It was a multi-season will they, won't they?
Yeah. Well, and what's fun
everyone was real sick of it. Honestly.
is before I met Rob, I always called Kendra my soulmate. And then I met Rob, and he's my true soulmate. But I have two. Kendra and Rob are both my soulmates. And fun fact, they both worked at Blockbusters.
Right.
Blockbuster.
How funny
We're
is that?
both college Blockbuster workers
Yeah.
because I
Hardcore
started in
Blockbuster
college
nerds.
too.
And
And-
It's like we can recite our membership numbers
We did it
because
at breakfast yesterday.
because we can.
Yep. Nothing sad about that.
Yeah, no, it's like there's just some things that imprint on your brain, and honestly, I have to say, like, that job was so fun.
Oh my God,
because
dream job.
there was a full understood amount of responsibility, and it was never going to go higher. Like, I hate to say it, but like it was a thing of like you knew exactly what you were in for, and it's not like you suddenly had to deal with some weird surprise. It's a rental store.
I was assistant store manager before I left, so I mean, I had maybe a little bit
Well,
more to deal
yeah.
with than you did, Rob.
no,
I'm kidding. I have no idea.
I was a tourist. It was
did
amazing.
you guys bridge VHS to DVD?
Oh yeah, and it was a really strange thing. So yeah, I absolutely had to rewind tapes when they brought
Yeah, I
them
remember
back.
that.
And
I
then,
was still watching tapes when you worked there.
yes, and then when you when we
DVD
made the
players were
transition,
expensive.
they made us destroy all the tapes. We had to break them with hammers
What?
and throw
I
them
don't
away
remember
so that
that.
nobody could steal them. I guess.
Well, we sold all of our stuff.
We
off.
tried
I mean,
to.
our
We-
pre-owned tapes.
PVTs.
Oh yeah, they got
Previously
bought.
viewed tapes.
Yeah, or previously viewed titles
Well,
eventually because of the DVDs.
Blockbuster is where I bought. Once I finally got a DVD player and I bought DVDs because back in the day you created a library and you bought your physical media because there was nothing to stream. And I bought every used DVD from Blockbuster.
Yep,
because you get it for like they used to do deals where you get like 5 for $20 or something.
A lot of them were $4.99 if you waited long enough. And we had the inside. We had that good dope. So we could be like, next week it's on the list to go to PVT and
totally. Well, I remember one time I walked up to my boss and I was like, "Do we have too many copies of Zoolander? I want one." And she was like, "We got 16, and they're always here. Yeah, let's just PVT like 6 of them out." And I was like, "Great."
Yep.
The power.
Yeah. No, it was fun because like I and it's funny because for me being like very much just seasonal coming in, they liked that I was trustworthy, I didn't steal, and I had a lot of movie knowledge, and so that was the big thing because like, and also just the way my brain worked. I remember one time I was like literally just like elbows deep in like the returns, and I couldn't get up, and someone's like, "I'm looking for that vampire movie where John Malkovich is in it, and it's about the making of that other movie." I was like, "Shadow the Vampire. If you go down that way, it's 7 from the end at the bottom. Can you go do that, or do you want me to come with?" "I can." And they were like, "No, that's good." And they went and got it, and they came back and they're like, "That was perfect." And I was like, "I was just there, and I know these shelves."
That was more than helpful.
But let's go. And so that was me there.
Real quick, let's talk about that return box. Let's talk about how I still have stress dreams about that return box.
Oh, I loved it. I thought it was fun.
Oh my
opening
god!
shift,
that it never emptied. That it just kept every time you thought you emptied it, it just more and more came in.
You might have been a higher volume store than we were.
Oh my god!
Mine was a real. It was a pretty chill place.
It was a lot.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, we still remember our numbers. I still remember. Oh my gosh, so many things. Well, you had to do the wall. You had to balance the wall.
Yes.
When you put everything out.
I refer to snaking in titles at home when I redistribute.
Snaking in
shelves.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
My favorite was overnight inventory.
That was fun. We usually had a fun manager. Like my partner was one of them. A couple other ones. My friend Shannon. Shout out to Shannon. And we got to play whatever music we wanted or whatever movies we wanted.
Did you guys do like pizza party kind of thing?
Yeah, we would get food, and it was overnight, but it was like usually we were done by like 2. I feel.
Oh,
like.
It's funny because ours we started at I think like 1 because we closed at midnight.
Yeah,
so we'd start at 1,
So
but like usually we would be done around like 4
Maybe
or 5.
I don't remember.
Well,
Maybe it was later.
And so because of that though, we put on movies and stuff, and then usually we just sort of stay and open the store, but you got to do it in pajamas, so you got to finish your shift in whatever clothes you wanted.
That was the best. Like when I worked at the Gap at the Outlet Mall in high school and stuff, when we did overnight inventory too, and it was such a cool thing because you could wear whatever you wanted.
Yeah.
And I was just like, I'm in the store wearing shorts,
Flip flops and pajama pants.
I loved my navy blue and gold polo, so I just
Where are they?
No, they're horrible. I kept one for a long time. I think I still have a name tag. I have a Christmas ornament I got from there.
Because you could fully you just grab a pair of khakis and throw that polo on. That's your Halloween costume.
Oh, absolutely. No, that's a great idea. I'll have to see if
honestly,
I
it's
still
probably
have
worth
it.
money.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember literal rock star feels because you got movies early.
Pre-street date.
You're like,
Oh, yeah.
They were part
and
of our 5 titles that we got free every week.
Yeah.
Well, and I always forget, Rob always corrects me, but movies used to come out on Tuesdays, right?
Yes, and you used to get the shipment of them on Friday
And
So the weekend
music
before
did
it
too.
came out, you had it over the weekend.
because you had to prep them and open them and get them into safers.
So music
and
and
stuff.
movies used to, for some reason, come out on Tuesdays, but now what comes out on Fridays? Music.
Records.
Music comes out on Fridays.
But movies still come out on Tuesdays.
Theatrically, movies come out on
Theatrically
Friday.
on
Fridays.
yeah.
And often there are digital releases on Fridays for movies, but
Yeah.
Blu-rays and DVDs happen on Tuesdays.
Oh, so it's still Tuesdays
Correct.
for physical media if you want it. Fascinating.
So much of
But
this,
yeah.
what's that, Meemaw? What's that, Peepaw?
And I believe I do know the reasons for this because I think I talked to Amoeba about this, and at least they had theories. The old logic was you got it on Friday so that the store would be able to prep stuff and get it ready for Tuesday. Plus, that way, if the shipment doesn't come on Friday, it can come on Saturday, or someone can figure it out and get it on Monday. So you have time because the weekend's a little tricky.
Yeah.
The hard part that they were saying now about the shipment of stuff coming out on Friday is if something comes out on Friday and it becomes this surprise success and it sells out, you're out for the weekend.
Oh.
So I've heard some record stores don't love the new Friday
Yeah,
release date thing.
that's a
It
great
makes
point.
sense that you sell stuff when people have paychecks and people are
Yeah.
coming in, but
It can sell stuff out.
they can't prepare like they used to because the Tuesday release date was better for them.
Yeah.
That makes sense.
That makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah, I just remember, I just thought you were so, literally so cool that you got movies 5 days early.
I mean, and it's why I've seen everything. I mean, there's so few things
Oh.
that I didn't see.
Yeah, there was a couple
from
of years where I saw
2000 to
everything.
2004. I
Yeah.
saw everything.
Yeah, whether you wanted to or not.
Yeah,
you saw
even if it was garbage,
Yeah.
you're like, I'll still watch it. I remember having a screener VHS copy of Memento, and you'd be like watching it, and then like some language would come out on the screen. It's like, this is a screener.
Yeah.
My copy of Birthday Girl that I saw with Nicole Kidman was a VHS screener that had the thing. And the crazy thing is, though, because they had the subtitles popping up every 10 minutes saying this is a screener, not for sale, there were 0 subtitles elsewhere in that movie. I don't know if you knew this, but half that movie happens in Russian. And
I did not.
I actually thought that this was the most bold, stylistic choice ever to have a movie where you can't understand half the people, but like honestly, her performance was very good and it was very easy to tell what was happening. So I actually watched that movie only understanding half of it, and I was actually very impressed. And then I bought it on DVD and I was like, oh, this movie does tell you what it's saying. I had no idea.
The power of Nicole Kidman.
Especially with VHS, there was no like turn captions on, turn captions off feature.
That was literally a bungled screener that I don't think they knew they made.
It's so weird to think that we lived at a time where you couldn't push a button and turn captions on and off.
Right.
And like, but because of that, like we have a paranoia now that when a movie does do a stylistic choice of not telling you what they're saying, you're like, wait, did you turn the captions off? Are we on the wrong kind of captions? Wait, go back.
Right. Were we supposed to know what they said? It turns out like it just was somebody in French saying quoi?
Yeah.
It's like I need a subtitle.
Or it's a whispered sentence to someone that you're not supposed to know.
Totally.
It's a secret.
The end of Lost in Translation. It's like, what did we turn on the captions?
I would pay so much money to know what he actually said.
I feel like the whole point is you're not supposed to.
I know, but yet I do want to know.
It's whatever line you need it to be.
I love that movie.
Speaking of captions, though, for those that aren't familiar, if you have an Apple TV, it's the coolest feature that we just learned about.
I saw it on TikTok.
It's so fun. Rob saw it on TikTok. If you have an Apple TV, which you can talk into the remote, you can talk to Siri. If you miss what somebody says, you can tell Siri, hey, what did they just say? She'll skip back, 10, 15 seconds?
10 seconds, I think.
She'll skip back 10 seconds, turn the captions on for that 10 seconds.
Wow.
So you can see and hear what they just said. And then when they get back to where you push the button, the captions go off.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
So there's
you
not
have
a
an
lot
Apple
of this, like,
TV,
let me turn them on and we'll turn them off when we're comfortable. No, it's literally just that section. It's amazing.
If you have an Apple TV and you missed
That's
a scene or you missed what somebody said, just ask Siri what they said and she'll skip back 10 seconds and turn the captions on so you can see what they said. And yeah, we used it during House of the Dragon because
Super helpful.
Sometimes there's things you miss.
Like lots of names that are very similar.
Especially if they're speaking Valerian.
Yes.
But yeah, well, that was a fun little origin story of us.
Yeah.
And about Blockbuster, I'm always happy to talk about movies.
God, I miss it so much.
Such a magical time. That was the other thing. You guys were, I guarantee Rob was very this responsible, but you too were so responsible. You were like, I can't give you the pre-release movies. That you can watch it at my house, but I can't loan it to
I
you.
can't.
No, very much so.
I didn't want to lose the privilege.
No, seriously, like that was a thing. Well, and for us, actually, our pre-release stuff was just kind of. I don't want to say it was like the Wild West, but like because it wasn't in the system yet technically, and so like we had a sign out sheet, but it was like any pre-release movie, take them all. We don't care as long as they're back in time
I think
for
we checked
the
ours
thing.
out. I think we had to check ours
You know?
out.
Yeah, I feel like you did.
And of course, so we had like 2 free rentals at a time, all the time.
Oh yeah, that was
basically.
you had like employee rentals.
Yeah, so
ours were 5.
I was like, well, at least I think ours was just 2, but we were we were in a corporate store. We were a franchise store.
We were
so like,
corporate.
it was like, 'cause we had a lot of people busting in being like, you're guaranteed to have snow dogs, like, or it's free. And I'm like,
Snow dogs.
and I'm like, we have 40 copies of it and we are a franchise store and we are out of it and you're going to have to come back. Sorry. But like, we had to keep telling people like, sorry, that promotion you saw on TV with the dancing guinea pigs.
Yeah.
Not us.
That was like when I worked at Applebee's in LA. There's one Applebee's in LA and it's a franchise store. So like whenever there's like a national commercial promotion, people will be like, you said you got 2 sirloins for $10. Like, nope, we're a franchise store. We don't honor those coupons.
And seriously, it sucks. It sounds like I took joy in saying that. I didn't. It just was one of those things of like, after you say it the 80,000th time, you just can't say it with feeling anymore.
The best thing was on Fridays when you knew that was coming in, you could call the store or call your friend, or there was some limited texting at that point, and just be like, hey, did the shipment come in yet? Because you knew what was coming and you were waiting for it. So you would come in when you were off.
You holding?
Yeah. And or be like, set me that one aside, hide it, because there were only like so many copies of certain stuff. So
just as an FYI, the battery here is about to die. I think there's 0. It has been shrinking this entire time I've been watching.
Ruh-roh.
But at least it's still recording.
Recording.
I meant to acknowledge that at the top. There was some audio issues on the last episode because this podcast recorder just stopped recording for like 1 minute at the beginning. So we had to use the audio from the video.
Yeah, this recorder came and went as she pleased for the first couple of minutes.
Yeah, but at least the lights are on.
They
so
are.
if the battery dies, we'll know.
Hopefully it finishes right in the file.
And yeah,
That's my biggest concern.
let's move
Sorry.
into our final segment. I think that's perfect timing, which is what's your order? Whoa. And we're back. Sorry about that, gang. The battery died on a recorder, so I have no idea when it stopped recording. So we're just going to go straight into what's your order? What's your order? What's your order? I have here our trusty blue Rip and Dip shoebox filled with ideas, foods, dates, restaurants, anything that we could talk about food, but specifically. And today Kendra's going to choose because she's the guest. So please, without further ado, please, what's your order? Oh. You got it, Julia Roberts it. All right. And today's what's your order is...
This is too perfect. Gummy candy.
Yeah,
This is perfect.
Gummies. My favorite food. Literally, when people ask me what's your favorite food, I'm like, well, sugar. And then I'm like, if I have to be more specific, I guess gummy. I'm very much a fan of
It's a
gummy.
very pretty form of sugar.
I love all candy equally. Like I crave peanut butter cups. I crave a Hershey bar. I crave gummies. I crave Twizzlers. Like I love candy, but gummy, I just love a fruity gummy. And I love a meaty gummy. I recently got into Bubs, which are from Sweden, which I've talked about a lot on TikTok. If you haven't had a Bubs yet, do whatever you can to get them.
good.
They're so good. It's just a meaty mouthful of gummy. I just love them so much.
That's a gummy meets marshmallow almost. Kind of,
They're
right?
like airy, but
It's like a
also
creamy
like
factor.
chewy. Ugh,
Like
they're
if
just
Peeps weren't
delicious.
disgusting.
Yeah, well, they're like if you leave Peeps on the counter for a week out in the open air, which is what I like to do. I like to dehydrate my Peeps a little bit. A stale Peep is the only Peep. Who am I kidding? I'll eat a fresh Peep too. There is just a very soft marshmallow. I love it. But yeah, I love gummy candies. I would have to say Haribo. Like if you're just going to a grocery store or like a CVS and you need gummies, Haribo is my favorite because it is a solid gummy. It's not juji fruit, like it's not going to break your teeth. But Haribo, it's got a good chew. I like the flavors.
And it's not that sort of fruit snack consistency.
No, that's the thing. There's so many different levels of gummy
or a jelly.
that I don't think people think about it. Like a Sour Patch Kid is a jelly candy. It's not a gummy candy.
That's a great
It's
point.
like a gum. It's like a gumdrop. Those are jellies. They're not gummies. But I do love a Sour Patch Kid. I'll go ham on a Sour Patch Kid.
Yup.
Yeah.
And it's one of my favorite movie snacks. Like, because movie theaters almost always have a box of Sour Patch Kids. And but yeah, fruit snacks, which are gummies for children, like they marketed to children as a lunchbox snack. It's candy.
Yeah.
But it's
100%.
but it's
Not very
closer
good candy.
closer to a jelly than it is to a gummy.
Yeah.
Another Blockbuster thing. Did you guys have the Scooby-Doo fruit snacks?
No, or if we did, I did not eat them.
They were amazing.
Those are my favorite
Those
fruit
are
snacks.
the best fruit snacks.
Because they had the like creamy blue one. It was like an opaque blue cream, and it was like a delicious blue raspberry or something.
Yeah, those were so good.
I was like, growing up, there was a brand of cherry. Like there was a fruit snack that they did just a cherry. And it was very chemical cherry, and it was made by Farley, I think. And it was
Which is your favorite fruit flavor?
yeah, chemical cherry is one of my absolute favorite
Like
flavors.
red vines, Luden's cough drops.
And so like
which were candy.
Yeah, so like I would actually, and it was like only one, like our Ralph's carried them, but no other grocery store did. So like I remember going to Ralph's just to get these like chemical cherry fruit snacks as a kid.
yeah.
Love it.
So yeah, Daddy, what's your preference of gummy?
My favorite gummy is the sour worms, the trolley
Yep.
sour gummy worms.
So good.
If it's going to be gummy, great, but I want it to be sour.
There's something about an opaque gummy. I know it's not cream. I know it's not marshmallows, but opaque gummies are better than clear gummies.
I agree. Stand by it.
Meanwhile, Rob randomly 2 weeks ago, he's like, I want super cheap dollar store gummy worms.
A shush, I'm right here.
I thought you were already done.
No, I
Sorry.
didn't say anything. I mean, I talked about Farley fruit snacks, but no, honestly, like 9 times out of 10, I'm going to grab actually a jelly-based thing. So I'm probably going to grab Sour Patch Kids.
Yeah.
Like I want something usually sour, and so like Sour Punch straws, Sour Patch Kids,
those are
love them,
good
love them,
too.
love them. Yeah, if it's got the sugar that makes it sour, I want it. But yeah, like when it comes to actual gummy, I prefer a worm to a bear, and I like the like cheap ass. Normally they be bulk that you scoop with a shovel.
Yeah.
Like I remember buying them in bulk in Vegas when I lived
Did you
there.
guys have Mr. Bulky?
No.
Our candy stores in the mall, those like pick a mix stores, were called Mr. Bulky.
Well,
It was a chain.
Our grocery store had like one of the giant, like similar to like the giant bulk pinto bean things. They had those for like Brock's brand.
Yeah, pick a mix. That's what it was called.
And
pick a mix.
But yeah, like Brock is that sort of like standard, very much like gas station gummy worm that I expect. And because we had some like pretty fancy ones recently, and I was like, these are not gummy worms.
They're too fancy.
Yeah, these are like hoity-toity gummy.
There's that new gummy bear brand that does like 15 flavors in different colors. Not Alpine. They come in a white bag with a red emblem, and I'll show. If we go to the grocery store, I'll show them to you because you've probably seen them and didn't realize what they were. But everyone always recommends those to me. But they're too many flavors, and none of them are like the flavor I want. Like they have grapefruit and they have kiwi, and like there's too many flavors mixed in. And I'm like, just give me I want clear Haribo is my favorite.
Well, so I lucked out in that the reason I went to 7-Eleven and just bought like a bag of like $1.50 gummy worms, and it was amazing because they're segmented, so every worm is 2 colors alternating, and for some reason every single worm in this bag, every other color on all of them was red, which was perfect because it was like red with green, red with white, red with yellow. I was like, yes, give me the chemical cherry.
Nice.
What's your favorite flavor, Daddy?
Well, if we're talking about, I want to go back to the jellies, talking about Sour Patch Kids, orange Sour Patch Kids
Really?
are by far the best Sour Patch Kids. Honestly, which I usually I like the red the best of something. No, orange, yellow, and green Sour Patch Kids are the best ones.
I like the yellow a lot of Sour Patch Kids. It reminds me a little bit of Household Cleanser, but I'm down.
Yeah, it's not quite that bad.
Yeah.
Did Sour Patch change their greens ever? Who changed Skittles?
From like lime to apple?
Skittles changed
Don't
green.
get me
Right.
started.
Yeah, I remember when that happened.
I was
Sour
so
Skittles
pissed.
were like my favorite. I
Sour
love
Skittles
those.
are great, but when they went from lime to green apple, I like if there was someone I could have written a letter to.
They switched it back,
or some
didn't
sort
they?
of protest. They finally did because here's the thing with Skittles: you get them by the handful, and it's like about the mix. Now, of course, you can pull out the reds or the purples or whatever, but it was about the mix. And the green apple totally like I will die.
It doesn't belong in there.
It made me so mad.
I didn't like it. And
Throws off the whole balance.
It did. The lime were so good.
You know when you go to like one of those like colonial reenactment villages or whatever, there's always that old timey candy shop that always has very specific like boxes of candy and stuff. And I feel like one time I saw like Skittles all lime, and I was like, where do you even order that from? Like that's such a specific candy store thing.
That's weird.
But now lime is back. They took the apple out.
Well, it's like because lime was my favorite, and so I remember getting like the giant bag of Skittles from like Costco, and I was that kid who would sit and watch a movie, and I would eat every other Skittle and just collect the green ones as like delayed pleasure in like a container, and then I would just go lime ham.
You know what I used to do that with, and it's kind of gross, but I would get a Snickers Blizzard from Dairy Queen, and I would eat the ice cream, and if I got like a hefty chunk of Snickers in my mouth, I would lick all the ice cream off, put it on a napkin, and keep going. And then by the time I was done, I could do a whole mouthful of Snickers.
A Snickers shot.
Because, Kendra, we've talked about this before. Sometimes you need a mouthful of Rolo, or you need a mouthful of Snicker. Remember that one time we were like,
absolutely.
I just want to unwrap 6 Rolos and
put them
stuff
all
my
in my
mouth with
mouth.
Rolos.
Mouthful of Rolo, I think, is the name of a band, but also that that I think of all the candies that to ever need a mouthful of, Rolo is the one that makes the most sense.
Be honest,
one Rolo is a Rolo, correct?
Yeah.
And like one Reese's Piece is a Reese's Piece.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I want a mouthful of Rolos, not just one Rolo.
Not just one. Yeah.
But yeah, the other thing I was going to say about gummy worms, did you guys ever do this when you were little? You take a gummy worm and stretch it almost to its capacity, and then lick it and watch your saliva slowly dissolve it like acid from Alien, and then it would come in 2 pieces.
I don't think
I would bite it.
I never actually licked it. I think if I just kept pulling it, it was almost like the acid was there anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But my favorite thing was to just take a cheap gummy worm, stretch it, and then lick it. And because it's just made out of sugar and gelatin, it will instantly start dissolving like acid has been poured on it. It's my favorite thing.
One of my kid habits that I'm glad I don't do now that I know how teeth work is I used to put them like up under my lip. So I had like the puffy lip.
Oh, like you were doing chewing tobacco.
Yeah, kind of, or down here. Like I guess I was dipping these things, and they
invented Zens,
and like they'd slowly melt. But the problem was, I realized like, no, that's like sugar right at the gum line. That is stupid.
You're mainlining.
Yeah, of all the places to put sugar where it's terrible for your teeth, I think the gum line's probably the worst.
Well, the reason why I was so excited about the gummy candy is because of the presents that I brought.
Yeah.
Kendra just brought me the best. Like we're all middle-aged adults now, so like we don't need I don't need you to buy me an iPod for my birthday. birthday, I need you to get very specific and very fun. And she
Very
got
thoughtful.
me very thoughtful. She got me a bag full of various gummy foods, which one was like a poke bowl, and it was just different chunks of little gummies. I already ate it. It was delicious.
And like really fun shapes.
Many, like there was some solid replica work.
Yeah,
in
yeah.
these.
There was like
Shrimp.
in there of the creamy gummy that I was just talking about,
So
and they
good.
were so delicious. A good mouthfeel, because like sometimes you can get those and it's really cheap, like fruit snacky jelly gummies, but
this
these were
was
like
legit.
high quality gummies. That's why I've done the Kraft mac and cheese, like actual branded gummies. They're so good. And then the Oscar Mayer bacon gummies, so good. They're all fruit flavored, gang. They're not actually meat or cheese flavored. But she also got me bagel bites, like actual
That's branded, right?
Tito's
Tostinos?
Tostinos. Anyway,
Totino's does pizza rolls.
Totino's, actual branded bagel bites, but they're gummy bagel bites. We're gonna try them after the pod. And then there was also a taco,
A burrito.
a burrito.
pizza?
Noodles, a pizza, and then like a box of noodles.
Oh yeah, like takeout, like Chinese takeout. Yeah, and I was just like, this is what I want. This is how you
the
gift me.
gummy
That's
bounty.
right. Yeah.
And
I-
seriously, like
I
I,
know
said,
my
the
daddy.
poke was so good.
Well, and I mean, of course, I think we have to mention why that gift came, right, for this week, probably.
Yeah, why did I bring you a gift?
Because my birthday's tomorrow.
Tomorrow's Daddy's birthday.
When this episode comes out, it was 2 days earlier.
Monday, August 26th.
Yeah.
I am 44, which is great because 8 is my lucky number, and 4 plus 4, if you're familiar with math, is 8.
Happy
And-
birthday. Woo!
Our best president was number 44.
Yeah, truly.
And up to this point,
Yeah.
to who we're going to have next time.
But I am now, when you're hearing this, I am now 44 years young. And
Crazy.
yeah, this has been the best birthday weekend. Like, this is what I want. Just hanging out, going to restaurants we like, eating gummies, and being with my best friend.
Yep.
Thank you
It's
so
been
much for
amazing.
being
Yeah,
here.
absolutely. Thanks for having me on the podcast.
My first real guest, because Rob doesn't count.
Yeah, I'm not real. I'm just a hologram.
But yeah, this is so fun. I'm so glad you could do this.
Yeah, me
And I can't wait to do it again, like whenever I bring this on the road, and we'll come do it at your house with your dogs.
Oh my God, it'd be so good.
Linus can be our next guest.
He'll talk to you about his pork deficiency syndrome. It's real. It
Dad-
affects one out of every one.
Dad, if I don't have bacon every day, I could die.
PDS, look into it. He's searching for a cure.
But thank you so much for being here. We love you so much.
Thank you. I love
and,
you guys.
all you guys out there, thank you so much for listening. What a fun show. Again, the audio dropped out again because the battery died, so who knows what we lost. But hopefully it was a great episode and you enjoyed it.
It's all
and-
about the friends we made along the way.
Exactly. And if we lost anything on the recorder, we've always got the video audio. So who
Deal
knows?
with it.
2 weeks in a row, we could have janky audio. That's the joy of this podcast. But we love you guys. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Don't forget to like and subscribe and tell your friends. Let's get those numbers up, huh? It's my birthday. It's the least you could do. But
true.
having said all that, we love you. Goodbye.